Twente is a non-administrative region in the eastern Netherlands. It encompasses the most urbanized and easternmost part of the province of Overijssel. Twente is most likely named after the Twente or Tivahanti, a Germanic tribe that settled in the area and was mentioned by the Roman historian Tacitus. The region's borders are defined by the Overijssel region of Salland in the northwest and west, the German county of Bentheim in the northeast and east, and the Gelderland region of the Achterhoek in the south. Twente has approximately 620,000 inhabitants, most of whom live in the three largest cities, Almelo, Hengelo and Enschede, the latter being the main city of the region. Twente comprises 14 municipalities: Almelo, Born, Dinkeland, Enschede, Harksbergen, Hellendoorn, Hengelo, Hof van Twente, Losser, Oldenzaal, Rijsenholten, Tubbergen, Twenterand and Weerden. The whole of Hellendoorn and the western parts of both Rijsenholten and Twenterand historically belong to the cultural region of Salland, but to the city region of Twente. Etymology. Various sources provide several explanations of the name Twente. In his work Germania, the Roman historicus Tacitus mentions a tribe called Tivahanti, who lived near or in present-day Twente. This same name was found on two altar stones found in the ruins of Ocuvitium, a Roman guard post on Hadrian's Wall near present-day Housesteads in northern England. The Tivahanti served in a Roman Frisian cavalry unit that was stationed there. Another explanation of the origins of the name is that Twente was part of the Oversticht, a medieval administrative construction which included the adjacent shires of Twente and Drenthe. As the name Drenthe is said to stem from *3 Handjar meaning three lands, Twente is said to stem from *twai Handjar or two lands. Landscape. Although Twente is the most urbane part of the province of Overijssel, it is renowned for its scenic countryside. This is sometimes typified as a bocage landscape, attracting many tourists from other parts of the country, with popular sites such as the Luttetsand on the meandering Dinkel, or the wide heather fields on the Frezenberg near Markelo. Twente is bisected from north to south by a range of hills in western Twente, and hills in the east, with the Tankenberg near Oldenzaal being the highest point. The towns of Uitmarsum and Oldenzaal, to a lesser extent, are known for their scenic historical buildings, the latter of which has a noteworthy Roman-style church called Old Gries, which is the oldest Roman-style church in the Netherlands. 8 Twents towns have obtained city rights: Almelo, Delden, Diepenheim, Enschede, Goor, Oldenzaal, Uitmarsum, and Rijssen. Since Twente's economy is for a considerable part reliant on agriculture, this leaves its marks on the landscape, with lots of meadows and pastures, alternated by undergrowth, scrubs and copse. There are several fens, marshes and peat bogs, which long made Twente less accessible for the rest of the Netherlands, and which formed some natural defense. It also made the inhabitants of Twente to incline towards the east for trade, politics and fashion, rather than to the more western parts of the Netherlands. Geologically, Twente is one of the most interesting areas of the Netherlands. It has strata from various eras concentrated in a relatively small area. There is an open stone quarry at Losser, while there are several salt mines at Hengelo and Berkelo. The western Twente town of Nijverdal is the only place in the Netherlands where gold was ever found. Economy. Twente is largely reliant on agriculture, next to services, and to a lesser degree on tourism. The improved national image of Twente has stimulated an increase in regional products sales. One of the largest Dutch beer breweries, the Grolsch Brewery, is in Twente. Twente has many construction companies, most notably in the town of Rijssen, which houses over 20 more or lesser known construction companies and related services, such as electricity, plumbing, and insulation. Some northwestern Twents villages, such as Westerhavries and Veensewijk, are known for their many inhabitants being employed in road engineering. A number of construction companies have set up, or invested in offices in other continents, such as the US and Asia. Next to aforementioned occupations, many Twente people are engaged in the transport sector. The second half of the 20th century saw an explosive increase in the number of freight transportation companies. Culture and folklore. The flag of Twente is a bright red cloth with a white rampant horse, which is believed to be derived from the Saxon steed. The rampant horse in the coats of arms of Westphalia and Lower Saxony, also introduced in the coat of arms of the English county Kent. Traditions in the more rural parts of Twente, a notion called noaberskap, which may be roughly translated as neighborship, is deemed of great importance. In short, noaberskap involves neighbors looking after each other, or giving good counsel whenever a neighbor asks for advice. For instance, it may include collecting each other's mail and watering plants and flowers while the other family is on holiday, and looking after each other's pets. Noaberskap is regarded a matter of rights and obligations. A neighbor may, for instance, call on the other neighbors for help if something needs to be repaired or otherwise taken care of, but it is very indecent to refuse if the other neighbors then ask a favor in return. Neighbors are expected to help each other preparing wedding celebrations, funerals, birthday parties, etc. Though modern social security service has reduced the need for strong noaberskap bonds, some communities do appreciate newcomers to adapt to these old customs and to make neighborship with the others, and not fulfilling noaberskap duties may be still regarded a grave offense. A number of traditional cultural practices have been preserved in Twente, such as blowing midwinter horns around Christmas, and burning Easter fires. Twente is also known for its considerable number of so-called klutsketisverenigings, which is commonly considered the local traditional sport. In the small town of Utmarsum, a tradition known as vloggelen is practiced annually around Easter. Firstly, a group of 8 young bachelors called Poas girls are selected. On Easter morning, the Poas girls form a human chain by joining hands. They go through some of the houses of the town while singing psalms, after which the other inhabitants and other spectators may join the chain. After a while, the chain halts in the town center, where fathers may lift their young children 3 times, while shouting Hallelujah. The gathering continues towards the fields, where a large Easter fire has been built by the community. The gathering sings a psalm and then the Poas girls light the bonfire. It is commonly believed to be a Roman Catholic adaptation of a pre-Christian fertility tradition. An extravagant carnival is celebrated in Oldenzaal, which, like the most of eastern Twente, has a considerable group of Roman Catholics. The west of Twente is mainly Protestant. Today, Twente has one of the Netherlands' largest exile communities of Assyrians. Food. Although Twente has always been part of larger cultural areas, borrowing and adopting food traditions, there are a number of traditional, typically Twente, dishes and snacks. One of the nationally most renowned foods from Twente is the krienchueg. This is a type of currant bread that is traditionally baked to celebrate the birth of children. The krienchueg was usually a long loaf, sometimes extending over as much as 1 meter, cut into thick slices. It is currently still a popular accompaniment with a cup of coffee, though it is no longer exclusively linked to childbirth. Another typically Twente food is bakleverworst, mostly abbreviated to bakworst. This is a spicy pork sausage, usually approximately 15 centimeters in diameter. The sausage is cut into 1 centimeter slices and baked. It is not usually served for dinner, but is often eaten for lunch, on a sandwich. It is mainly a seasonal product, as it is a hot and hearty snack. It is only available during the winters. There are several dishes that are often termed typically Twente, although they are hardly served today. Examples include stipindapan and borkenbrijge. Perhaps the best internationally known beverage from Twente is Grolschlager. Though it is originally from the town of Groenlo, which is in the adjacent Achterhoek region, the brewery moved to Berkelo near Enschede. It is therefore currently often considered a Twente brand. A relatively new brand of lager, Twente beer, is brewed in the town of Hengelo. Twente also has a long-standing tradition of distilling bitters. There are many locally distilled bitters, which are often produced and consumed for special occasions and celebrations. Often, they aren't for sale outside their home village. Though Twente's families traditionally ate potatoes, vegetables and meat for dinner, the influx of many immigrants from all over the world to Twente, who brought with them their own food traditions, has broadened the average Twenteman's nutritional horizon. Architecture. Twente is mainly a rural area with a number of urban centers. The Saxon heritage of Twente is reflected in the design of more traditional farms and residential houses. Twente has the only remaining loshuis in the Netherlands, a type of construction design that was previously common throughout the east of the Netherlands and the north of Germany. A loshuis consisted mostly of one room in which both humans and livestock lived together. The roofs, which are relatively large in comparison to contemporary houses, making up approximately two-thirds of the entire height, were mostly thatched and supported by a frame of thick beams. The Twente Museum in Enschede has reconstructed a loshuis on their premises. Many contemporary houses are designed with Twente's Saxon elements, such as thatched roofs, wooden planks to decorate the gables, and geloeltines, which are wooden planks shaped with several stylized symbols, such as a life tree, cross, anchor and heart, a sun wheel, and two rampant horses. These geloeltines are mounted vertically onto the ridge of the house at the front and the back gable. The symbols are believed to either invoke prosperity or ward off misfortune. Many construction companies have their origins, or main office, in Twente, especially in the town of Rijssen, which houses over 20 more or lesser known construction companies next to companies that provide related services, such as plumbing, building insulation and electricity. This makes Twente an attractive place for architects. A well-known piece of architecture is found in the town of Gore, where a construction engineering company has built their main office in the style of Friedensreich Hundertwasser, who was known for using lively colors and natural forms. Languages. The local language variety is Twente's. It is a dialect of the Westphalian branch of the Low German language group, which together with Limburgs is one of the two officially recognized regional languages of the Netherlands. Twente is spoken in all parts of Twente, but may vary per village in pronunciation or lexicon, though they are mutually intelligible, as they are part of the Low German dialect continuum. The dialect is often separated in two main categories, namely East Twente and Twente's Grofschops, though the differences are largely insignificant. The dialects work as a certain shibboleth. Minor accent differences help speakers define others' place of origin. As a result, speakers do not usually refer to their dialect by the umbrella term Twente, but rather by the name of their local variety. Speakers from Markelo, for instance, may call their dialect Markels, whereas speakers from Overdinkels may state that they speak Overdinkels. Although the dialect has been stigmatized for a considerable period over the last century, leading to a decline in use, interests in preserving and promoting the use of it are currently rising, resulting in initiatives such as dialect festivals, writing competitions and other culturally engaging projects. The Municipality Council of Rijssen-Holten holds one conference per year in dialect, and in 2008 declared their desk workers officially bilingual, to lower the threshold for the inhabitants of Rijssen who feel more comfortable in speaking Twente, rather than Dutch. Other municipality councils have recently indicated that they are willing to try dialect conferences, such as the municipalities of Hellendoorn and Weerden. The former Van Diems Institute, which is now incorporated in the Twente Museum, is involved in researching the past and present of Twente. It is located in Enschede and studies the regional culture, folklore, language, cultural history and landscape of Twente. It also collects, maintains, studies and displays an extensive collection of material from the history of Twente. with a full-size historic Twente Schlosshaus as one of its main attractions. The museum has designated a specific part of its premises for the Twente Taal or Kammer, where visitors may become acquainted with the language. Twente is largely mutually intelligible with dialects from surrounding areas, such as Achterhoeks to the south, Salans in the west, Groofschupperplaat and Munsterlandic across the Dutch-German border. Sports. On a professional level, Twente houses two football clubs that play in the National Eredivisie League, Heracles Almelo from Almelo, and FC Twente from Enschede. The latter, which is one of the most successful sides of recent years, having won the Eredivisie title in 2010 and the KNVB Cup in 2011. Twente is also the home region of Olympic gold swimmers such as Marleen Veldhuis and Henkelian Schroeder, and to internationally renowned equestrians, such as Jeroen Dubbeldam, Gerco Schroeder and Jos Lansink. A number of well-known bicycle racing pros are from Twente, including Bram Tankink, Tom Stamsnijder and Juice Postuma. On an amateur level, many people participate for leisure in popular team sports with local clubs, such as water polo, basketball and volleyball. A local traditional sport, klutskiet, which is similar to Irish road bowling, has seen an increase in interest over the last decades. It is mainly practiced for leisure or for cultural engagement. There are, however, a number of professional klutskater clubs. It is a popular activity for staff trips. Places in Twente: Ardorp, Albergen, Almelo, Boningen, Berkelo, Born, Bornebroek, Brecklenkamp, Oostdal, Dalaveen, Delden, Delut, Dienlijkamp, Derningen, Diepenheim, Enschede, Enter, Vlaardingen, Glannebrug, Goor, Harksbergen, Hengelo, Hengevelde, Latrop, Lonica, Losser, Manda, Markelo, Oldenzaal, Uitmarsum, Overdinkel, Ridgezen, Rossum, Sarsveld, Tilligte, Tubbergen, Twekkelo, Usselo, Vass, Vriezenveen, Vroomshoop, Weerselo, Weerden, Zender and see also Twentested.